Hi everybody, thanks for, I'm joined today by, I'm joined today, I'll start again from the top.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Luke Armstrong with F45. Today we are at F45 headquarters in Sydney, Australia. I'm joined by a very special guest. His name is Mark Train. He's the owner and operator of F45 Camps Bay in Cape Town, South Africa. How are you, mate?
Good. Yeah, good to be here. It's been a long 24 hours, I must admit.
Now I have to ask you, how's it?
Yeah, good. That's actually really good.
I couldn't resist.
Better than Leo DiCaprio.
So mate, thanks for coming over here. It's not your first trip to Oz. You've been part of the network for probably a year now. You've been open and operating at Camps Bay for most of this year, about 6 months. What's the experience been like so far?
Oh, it's been amazing. I mean, it's been a great learning curve for us. I think we entered into this sort of not really knowing what to expect, learned a lot out of it, really sort of grown not only myself but the business, and really starting to make some waves in South Africa. I think F45 is starting to become a hot talking point. Yeah,
awesome.
Really exciting.
So you talked about that leap of faith going over there, not really knowing what to expect. What was your first introduction to the brand?
So I moved over to Australia in 2016 to do my master's. Worked and studied here, and I trained at F45 in Double Bay, and it was a really great experience. I met a lot of people, really a great way to integrate into a community that I didn't quite know. So I thought, well, this would be a fantastic opportunity to bring this brand across to South Africa. So I approached Trent, my current business partner, owner of F45 Double Bay in Padstow, and thought, let's do it. Saw an opportunity in Cape Town, and fast forward 8 months later, we were there.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
Actually, just reflecting on my own experience this year, I've done a lot of traveling. I've spent more time away from Sydney than I have in Sydney, as my wife likes to remind me on a daily basis. But that's one of the things that I've come to really appreciate about the network that's not so obvious initially, is that for somebody who's new to an area, it gives you immediate community, immediate social connection, which is really powerful, especially if you're on secondment or you've recently relocated. So we're 6 months in. What's your experience been like so far? What's the response been from the community?
So it's actually been really great. I think when you enter into a market for the first time, people are really sort of interested to see what you are and what you offer. And F45 has a great track record globally, so it's nice to be able to leverage off that and be able to use a lot of content overseas, a lot of testimonials, and then bring it into the country and then let the people sort of experience it for themselves. And we have had a member who has lost almost 25 kgs in the last 2 challenges, and we've sort of now brought him on as a trainer, so he's really sort of living proof on the transformation and the real life-changing aspect of F45.
That's really powerful. Yeah. Could you describe your community? Like, if you were to describe what your membership looks like, how would you do that?
Yeah, so our members are quite similar, imagine, to a lot of the other F45s around the world. We are sort of a range between 20 and 55, predominantly female based also. We're developing a nice little community, and their members are really starting to get to know each other and really take it beyond the gym. I think that's something that we really wanted to get going from the start, is can we develop this community outside of the gym into the broader sort of Cape Town area. And
so just drilling into that for a second, what does that look like? You hold social events? Or
so it goes everything from drinks after the session to we host walks up the mountain, up Lion's Head. It's all sort of part of really sort of broadening the brand beyond the training into the actual broader community side.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's one of the things that this whole phenomenon has revealed, is that a lot of the membership are not just coming to F45 as a exercise outlet. They're also looking for something more, which is that connection and the community, which is so powerful.
Yeah.
So how did you reach these members to begin with? You've
Yeah.
come over with a brand new concept. Let's call a spade, probably very little brand recognition in a new market. What was some of the things that you employed that you found worked and maybe didn't work?
So, I mean, social media obviously is such a powerful engine at the moment, and I think that's something that you have to leverage. We used a lot of social media campaigns to start off with. Some of them worked well, some of them didn't. We found the ones that didn't work well, we'd obviously stopped using them. The ones that did work well, we carried it going. So we wanted to get that initial traction, that sort of real boom into Cape Town. So we employed a PR company to come on board, got some great articles out that sort of leveraged the F45 around the world and its expansion into South Africa. We then wanted to go from that sort of inorganic growth to now organic growth, where we have members walking through the door who are now starting to talk about F45, starting to bring their friends and family in, and then sort of grow the brand a bit more like that, which, I mean, organic growth is the best possible thing that you could have.
Yeah, I mean, there's no more effective means of selling something than through your customers who are advocating it. And actually, your description, I think, in a nutshell, describes our marketing system. It starts off with largely online, digital, advertising something that doesn't yet exist but is coming, getting people excited, offering them some sort of incentive to engage early on, and then once you're operational, just focusing on delivering a really great experience, and then trusting that if you deliver on those expectations, your members are going to become your best advocates in the community. And then, so I mean, would it be fair to say that over time you've seen word of mouth take over from digital in terms of lead generation, or is it still?
I'd definitely say so.
Okay.
Yes, 100%. I think, as you said, I mean, it's the best marketing tool that you can have. So I'd say, predominantly rely actually on word of mouth now, which is great.
Awesome. The benefit of that is it's free as well.
It's free, exactly.
Free advertising.
It's right in my price range.
And have you done any work with businesses away from social media? Have you collabed with any other operators in the local area?
We have, and I think that's really sort of also driven a lot of leads. Is we've worked with a number of businesses on specific campaigns, specific projects, and really started to grow the brand out there. So, for example, we are collaborating with the Colour Run for South Africa on the 10th of November. Awesome. So it'll be Colour Run in association with F45 Camps Bay. So that will be a nice sort of lead generator in having 14,000 potential customers. Yeah, which is great. So
we actually worked with the Colour Run in July in the UK.
Amazing.
We sponsored the London Colour Run. And we had an amazing response.
Great,
so well done there. It'd be cool to see. You get a lot of good content out of that, I'm sure.
No, exactly. And it's visually pleasing also. I think it'll be great. We're working with a few other bars and that also, sort of brands that are looking to expand into a lifestyle asset. And I think that's what F45 is. It's a lifestyle asset. So
100%.
we want to try collab with brands that are similar in nature.
Yep. Absolutely. And so for anybody who might be considering investing into South Africa or Cape Town in particular, do you have are there any major considerations that should be on their radar?
You got to understand that South Africa is a very different market to other markets around the world. I think to be able to do a pure plug and play situation is very difficult to do. You're going to have to do your substantial amount of research. In saying that, there's opportunity, and I think being in the right areas, in the right price bracket, you'll do well. Boutique gyms are on the up and up in South Africa at the moment, which is a great thing for us.
So where do you think, within that boutique gym space in Cape Town, where do you see F45 positioned? What makes F45 unique?
I think for us, and I think a lot of our members will agree, F45 offers a full range of services. I think having that sort of split of cardio and weight days is something that a lot of the other boutiques don't have. So it allows you as a member to train the 5 days a week and be able to handle it compared to, say, a type of workout that is very, very limiting.
Right. I suppose for me, traveling a lot the last year to 2 years, I've had the advantage of seeing a lot of boutiques, a lot of different concepts, and being able to measure that against what we do. And I think the thing that's really hit home for me is that we offer really, really effective training. I mean, our programs have got a lot of substance, but it doesn't come with that elitist cachet where you kind of get looked up and down on your way in and made to feel like you're not welcome if you're not dressed in head to toe Lululemon or the latest, Nike Flyknits or whatever the case might be. So I think it's been interesting, and in a market like London's, for instance, which is I would say arguably the boutique market is probably its only peer is maybe Manhattan or Los Angeles. We've been able to get traction so quickly because we're really taking that boutique programming, but making it accessible to a much broader audience who are responding really well and not being made to feel uncomfortable or like they're in the wrong place when they turn up. Cool. What are some of the other local considerations? I mean, with particular regard to, say, property, we were talking a little earlier about Cape Town and the dynamics there. It puts certain constraints on you. What was your experience like looking for a location?
Yeah, it was an interesting one. I think when you go into a market like South Africa, there are a few considerations that you've got to have. Number one is the majority of your client base are going to drive to the gym. It's not often that they'll be able to walk unless they work close by. So parking is obviously a massive consideration that you have to adhere to. In saying that, security obviously is something that is a forefront in a lot of the venues that we look at. So to ensure that it is a safe environment for male and female to enter into and feel comfortable in. So the two of those have to be at the top of the priority list. Apart from the actual space itself, I think you really need to put focus on those.
Okay, interesting. This week here in Oz was a big week for the network. We had our annual conference down in Melbourne. There were a couple of really big announcements to come out of it. Probably the biggest was the announcement around F45X, which is the programming that's been purpose-built for juniors aged between 11 and 18 and then seniors aged 60 and over. I think you said that your current community kind of fits into that 20 to 55 demographic. How do you see F45X applied to the Camps Bay?
No, I'm really excited about F45X. I think there is massive scope, particularly in the Camps Bay area. We have a wide demographic, and I think we can really tap into that older generation and the younger generation. I think where we are located, having the schools right close by and a large retiree sort of demographic area, it's going to fit in perfectly. I'm really excited to implement.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm personally really excited as well. I think it's going to really take what's been developed to now to the next level, and I firmly believe that in 3-4 years' time, the notion of kids training programs and seniors training programs is not going to be questioned. It'll be part of the zeitgeist, just as group functional training is now. I cast my mind back 5-6 years ago, and we were kind of like preaching a new religion. Everybody said that we were crazy and that it wouldn't work outside of the most affluent, most densely populated communities in Australia, and now it's turned very much into a national story and something that's accessible to a very, very large proportion of the population. So mate, what does the future hold for you?
So, I mean, I'd love to take over South Africa. I think there's a real opportunity for F45 to really expand nationally. So, it's about brand awareness. We really want to get F45 as a household brand as it is here. And the only way to do it is to open up. So, we're really excited about the future. Any
other towns or suburbs in particular that you're considering?
Sandton is our next logical step after Cape Town. It just sort of makes sense with a lot of our travellers in between Cape Town and Joburg. So
Sandton's in Johannesburg?
In Johannesburg,
okay.
Yes, yeah. Right. So Sandton is our next logical venue.
Awesome.
So excited for that.
Stay tuned for that. Anyone who's watching this from Joburg, you will hopefully shortly have an F45 studio to go and attend. Mate, thank you very much for stopping by. I really appreciate taking the time to talk through this. I hope that some of these talking points have been relevant to anyone listening, and I look forward to the next time. Maybe next time we'll be in Cape Town or Joburg.
I hope so.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks very much.
See you later. Bye.